What are you gonna get? Your guitar?
Oh shit, you got yours. So I'm like, fuck, I gotta get mine too.
Yeah. Well, we
What's up, man?
Well, yeah. So it's really great to see you again for
That is
another
a
episode
lovely
of.
fucking jacket or whatever that is. That's so swag, whatever that is.
Oh, this old? You mean this old thing?
This old, I just threw it on.
Well, yeah. There's a good story behind this jacket. So I'm in a band with Andy McCoy, who's a quite
Yes.
older gentleman. He's like 18 years older than me, right?
Yeah.
And he's friends with like Ronnie Wood from the Rolling Stones, and like
Oh,
he's like friends with
wow.
like real
Ronnie.
like legacy people, as he is one himself at that point. But this jacket is from the '60s, and he gave it to me just because I usually hang out at his place, and like he's got this wardrobe of like amazing, like, because Andy McCoy is notorious for wearing like swaggy
Yes.
things, right?
Yeah. He's very
Yes,
dripped for sure.
yes. So just from hanging there, and just one day he was just like in a super good mood. He was like, "Matty, come here, like let me show you this jacket." And he's like putting it on me. He's like, "All right, it looks great on you. You gotta just take it, just take it." So I was like, "Oh man, thanks." So like, yeah, like it's I
It's
like
very
it,
it's very shagadelic. I
it's
fuck with it. Super tough. I like it a lot.
um and I like the fact that I posted on Instagram people to ask questions, and I got some really good questions from people that were writing back. So I want to ask them to you. But
Oh, that's great.
before we get into that, how's been California? How's your week's been doing? How's your live streaming and songs been coming?
It's been good. Yeah, I just did. I don't know if you saw it, but I just posted a video tonight. I know it's your morning, but I just posted a video tonight. I did If Deftones wrote West Coast by Lana Del Rey,
Okay.
and I'm very proud of it. I'm really stoked about it. Um, and yeah. As far as the live stuff, I actually didn't go live. I'm just going to go live after our thing.
Okay.
So yeah, but I went live last night and it was fun. It was a good time.
That's
We
cool.
had a fantastic time.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Just doing my thing, doing our thing. The Glock flock, as they're not officially known, but I call them that sometimes, and it's kind of
I
weird,
like
but
that. That's got a
it's
nice
kind of
ring
cringe,
to it.
but it's all right.
No, no,
It's a little
no.
cringe ball, but it's it's
Yeah.
all right.
Yeah, that's
How you
and
been?
the YouTube channel has been growing. I told people in the beginning, go to Radio Live, because pretty soon we'll be able to go live on YouTube, and our podcast will be much better because we could use better microphones and stuff. But until then,
Yeah,
we are
yeah,
here. Yeah,
yeah, yeah. I'm definitely down for that. Like that's totally cool. And yeah, the mic stuff I'm super down for because uh, it's great talking to you with whatever means we have, but using mics I think is a lot better, especially if we're doing like a YouTube format. That's going to be a lot better for uh, the engagement and the production quality and everything.
for sure. And it's interesting because I was going to do the show today from my studio because I wanted you to see it, but
Yeah,
maybe next.
I do want to see that thing. You were telling me about it the other day. I do want to see that thing for sure.
It's really nice. And actually, while we're talking about it, I've been the store is open. So basically, what I'm doing is I'm open for. Not only am I going to be producing bands, like if you're a band, DM me and we can talk. So I'm looking to produce bands, but also I
Yes.
happen to be a producer that also plays. So generally what happens is a band will say, "Hey, Matty, can you produce a song for me?" And I'll be like, "Sure." And then I'll be like, "Oh yeah, I guess I'm playing guitar on it too." Or like, "I guess I'm playing bass on it." So it's like, I also perform for bands too. Like Life with Distortion he's on Instagram. His name is Martin, and he asked me to do a song, and he actually asked me to sing it. So I wrote he didn't have any lyrics or melody, so I wrote the lyrics and the melody, and now I'm just like, all right, well, I'm gonna produce it now, and I'm gonna have a drummer play on it, and I'm just like doing the whole thing for him. So now that I have my studio set up, which I will show it to you next week, I promise.
Yes.
I'm so excited about, because talking about mics, dude, the mic selection I have is insane, and just like everything I have like a keyboard with amazing sounds. I have full drum set mic'd up, ready to go, ready to just sit down and play. And it just records.
A booth? Do you have a booth?
I have everything.
Oh my goodness,
dude!
Have you done any '96 stuff there?
I've demoed some songs. I've demoed some songs for the band, but no, we haven't recorded any songs.
Okay.
I think Darren is in Mexico right now on tour with Malevolent.
Oh, that's rad.
Yeah,
well, that's cool, dude. That's fucking awesome. Yeah, having a booth that's huge. Having a booth, that's crazy. You can do anything in there. You can record guitars through an amp. You know, you don't have to use Sims. You can do live amp guitars. You can do live drums. You can do soundproof vocals. Like, that's fucking sick, dude. That's awesome.
Well, that's what I mean. And the fact of the matter is, I have the next few weeks that for me to do whatever I want in the studio. Like, I have full reign to do everything. So I'm just like, dude, if you're like, hey, Matty, I got this riff, I'll just go to the studio and I'll just freaking I'll go to town on it.
Yeah.
But wait, there's more, because I want to use the studio so I can do some work. So if you're a band and you want me to do some production or work on your stuff, just DM me, because
hit him up. Matty Janaitis, hit him up.
Yeah.
Do your thing.
Yeah, because I want to be able to
production.
Use the
you need
more.
help. You need someone there knows what they're doing. Hit him up. He's the man.
Yes. Thank you for my shameless plug. My shameless cringy plug. So moving forward. Today, I wanted to talk about, there's a word that we could have a topic of this podcast. And the topic of discussion is called opportunity.
Opportunity. Yes. Okay.
I want to know what your thoughts of the word, when you hear the word opportunity, what thoughts come to your mind?
The first thing that comes to mind is, like, you're just saying, like, musically, being a musician, being someone in the space, doing that stuff. Like, what does opportunity mean? That's what you're saying?
Well, I guess we could use it into the context of being an independent music artist, for sure. But then from there, you can go as broad as you want.
Okay. So the first thing that comes to mind is, years ago, I was in a band, and we were called Control, and we were going to open for Puddle of Mudd. We opened for Puddle of Mudd a few times. It wasn't the first time. I think it was like the second or third time. And we brought on a bass player for the band, and he was like not stoked about it. He was like, "Oh, that fucking Puddle of Mudd, like dad rock, like I'm not going to be I don't want to be a part of that." Like, he honestly was like actually mad. Like, he was like, "Dude, like that's below me. I'm not doing that. Like, fuck Puddle of Mudd." And we were basically like, and this is all like over Facebook Messenger. And we're like,
okay.
And me and everyone else in the band are like, what boosted your ego to the point where opening for like a national touring band isn't worth your time? Like, it's probably going to be sold out. Like, we've played with them before. Like, their fans are super dedicated. Like, they sell really well. Like, say what you want about Puddle of Mudd, but like, they sell very well. Like, they're a very successful band.
Yes, that is true.
And so we gave him that whole thing, and he was basically like, "Well, You know what? I'm trying to remember how it went. We were like, come on, man. Like, who cares? Like, you're acting like we're asking you to do something heinous. It's like we're asking you to play a fucking show to a bunch of people. It's like you're in a band. Like, what do you mean? And he was like, and we were basically just like, if this is going to be your attitude, like, we should probably just look for somebody else. And he was like, yeah, you probably should look for someone else. And then, we dropped him. And then there's a YouTuber. I don't know if you know who he is. It's Glenn Fricker, Spectre Sound. He's got like long hair. Fucking, I met him at NAMM this past year. He's super nice. But
Okay.
he did a segment on his channel for a while called Stupid Musician Texts, where people would send like, most of it was like musicians talking to like audio engineers and them giving them like insane like prices, or thinking like, oh well, or musicians telling producers like, oh well, this album's gonna be big, so you need to give us a cheaper price because our name is gonna be worth something, like stuff like that. Just clueless musicians saying stupid things. Like, that's the point of the show, and they would read it. And that conversation on Facebook Messenger ended up on his show on YouTube. I think it's like number 13 or 14 or something like that. If you look up Spectre Sound Stupid Musician number 13, or I think it's 13, you'll see it, and there'll be a band talking about Puddle of Mud. But on the show, when he was talking about that conversation, Glenn was basically like, okay, this is stupid. Like, any opportunity is a good opportunity. Like, just if you don't like the band, like, it doesn't matter. Like, that's not what this is about. This is just about like playing shows and getting out there, and like, your personal music taste. Like, why does that make you better than someone else because your music taste doesn't align with this band? Like, you should respect them for being a working band that's doing it for a living and touring the world, and like, you should just be cool with being a part of that. Mm-hmm. So he talked about that on his Stupid Musician Text video for his channel. But that was the first thing that came to mind when you said opportunity, and what does that mean to you? So my ramble is over, so you can take it from here.
Okay. I think that's not what I expected to hear, but actually that's a really good perspective of the word opportunity, because opportunity, in my opinion, can come in many different shapes and forms, and not all opportunity is always good opportunity. For example, sometimes you might think you're in a really good opportunity. You might think that you're about to endeavor into a really amazing opportunities with other people or other bands, or a band that you're playing with. It might be a great opportunity for me to play with these groups of people, and then you come to find out that it's all in your mind because you realize that maybe these aren't the right people that you should be playing with, or the opportunity wasn't as big as you might have thought it was. So sometimes opportunities don't actually happen in a way that you think they could, but it's all in you manifest this in your mind, that you think that this is going to be this great opportunity, but it ends up not being something that turns into an opportunity. And that happens a lot more, in my opinion, than it does when you think of an opportunity as something that actually becomes and fruitions into an opportunity that is like amazing. Amazing opportunities. They come very rarely, in my opinion, but they do come, though. They do come.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, but like, if you're, I don't know if you were talking about specifically, I don't know if you were countering what I said, but like, if you're just like a local band playing shows and you're opening for like a radio band like that, and someone's like, oh, I'm not going to do that because I don't like that band. It's like, what? What do you mean? Like, we're a band, we play shows, like, and it's better than playing at a dilapidated bowling alley like we normally do, you know. I totally agree with what you said, but I think that most opportunities, if you're playing for any sort of audience, like just do it, you know, like who cares? Like worry about the specifics later. Like just play your show, do your thing.
Yeah, well, no. So back to what you So what you mentioned is something that I've been involved with before, because playing in different bands. I don't need to mention certain bands, but I've seen those attitudes before, where playing with these other bands, what a disaster! What a no way! I don't want to do that. Like I would never be caught dead playing with this band. But I also agree with you. I look at it differently. Like,
I don't agree with that at all. I think that
yeah, I
mindset
don't
is
either.
stupid.
I think,
I opened for Blackville. I don't know if you know who Blackville Brides are, but they were a big 2000. They were a big like post hardcore band in like the mid to late 2000s. I'm sure they're still doing stuff, but I played with them when I was like 16 or 17, and it was sold out. It was like massive show. And then an opportunity came up to play with them again, and then somebody else, a different person, but someone else in my band was like, "I'm not playing with them." Like, no. It's like, dude, like I don't really listen to their music. I don't like their music, but like, why would I put myself like I'm not like they're not worthy to have me open for them? Like, I think that just goes to like having a fucking ego, and
yeah,
uh, I think that ego gets in the way of opportunity a lot for certain people.
for sure. You mentioned the Black Belt Brides, for example. I mean, we played with them on Soundwave
Oh,
Festival
okay.
in
Right on.
Australia,
Oh,
and
rad. Okay.
and I remember talking to them back in the catering section. Now, again, I don't want to mention. Obviously, people might know what band, but because of the way they dress, you could perceive them as what you want, right? And because of that, I think it's okay to have some banter. Backstage banter is quite okay if they can handle it. Why not? But after that, after some healthy competition, I think healthy competition is a good word, because bands should be kind of trying, like when you play a show, you want to be the band that's like that destroys it, and just like the crowd loves it, and like you are like,
Yeah.
yes, you killed it.
So like,
Like
who
you
the fuck
want
was
that.
that
You don't,
opening band, or who that those guys were sick? Like,
yeah,
yeah,
you know.
absolutely.
So it's okay to be like, to have the attitude like, we want to be the best. But after that, you know, I think there should be some camaraderie and respect given. Like that band, Black Veil Brides. Say what you want about them, or Puddle of Mud, another band that I've met over the
Yeah.
years.
Yeah.
They're they're kicking. They have, like you said, they have fans. They have major fans. They
Right.
have major success. They are
Exactly.
like everybody. They're played all over like they're successful. And if you can't respect that enough to be able to play a show as a fellow musician, then you have an issue, because then your ego is going to destroy you.
Exactly. That
Yeah.
well, when you said like, what does opportunity mean to you? That sort of, because you said that you've dealt with the same sort of thing with different band members, like people that get all high and mighty about like, oh, I don't want to play with that band. When you said opportunity, that is what came to my mind,
Okay.
because I think that is a very real thing that a lot of bands deal with. And I think
It is.
I think when people like combat about stuff like that, and get all butthurt about playing with a band, I think they show their true colors. It's like, you're not trying to be in a working band. Like, you're just trying to feed your ego to play with whoever you think is going to feed your ego, which is just ridiculous. It's like, if that's your mindset, then why the fuck are you in a band?
Well,
Like,
it's going to be
come on,
difficult.
man.
It's going to be difficult for somebody like that, even if they become more successful than the bands that they're having ego problems with, because at the end of the day, you're going to be an artist that might be super, super successful, but you're going to be super, super toxic, and not many people are even going to want to be around
Right. Yeah, it's super toxic.
you.
Like,
Mm.
Like,
So, but and the music industry is full of surprises and beautiful people and horrible people and everything in
right,
between, just like every other business as well. But specifically in the music business, there are so many people that use that. Well, ego is different, but there's so many people that take advantage of popularity, and they use it to take advantage of other people. And also opportunities could come when you feel like you are in a situation where somebody can possibly help you out. So you're willing to like you're willing to bend over backwards for these people. And then you realize after years possibly that you've been doing all this and they've just been taking advantage of you because they know that you see them as like this amazing thing. It's the baby reindeer effect. I think I've mentioned this before, but it's very true. It's very true. And that happens in the music business and in the entertainment business. Movies,
yeah,
movies. Women get taken advantage of many ways. Men get taken advantage of many ways in this way where you're going to be a big star. Just listen to what I have to say.
right,
Do what I
right.
tell you to do,
Oh
and
yeah,
then you do that over and over and over, and you never get anywhere. You know.
yeah. My version of that is basically people trying to fucking. It's so funny, dude. Like, I get all these emails of people like, "Oh, I love your videos, and you should sign with my media company because we can give you all this attention and followers." And I'm just like, "Did you actually like?" My name is misspelled, so did you actually like look at my videos, or are you just kind of sending these out to everybody that is gonna bite? You know, like I don't know. Yeah, there's so many shitty people in an industry like this where it's like it's a fun industry and it's like it's art and it's people just expressing themselves and making waves or whatever, uh, whether it's acting or music or whatever. There's tons of people that are just like oh, you're getting attention. I want attention too, and I want to make money because of that attention.
Well,
I never experienced that honestly, really, in like the live music, like being in a band uh, place, because I didn't really. I was in a band for many years, but we were just playing shows and like it kind of ended there. We didn't tour or like do anything where there was a company working alongside with us. So my only experience with that sort of thing is just on the online side of things, but um, it's a thing all over the place. It's hard to deal with sometimes.
well, like you said though, the artists in the music industry, it's fun, and that's one of the ways that people can take advantage of you because they can see the glimmer in your eye because people that are music artists, they have a passion, they have dreams, they have hopes, and just like actors and everybody else. So when somebody else can see like, oh yeah, that person, they have that itch, they have that dream of becoming the successful songwriter or music artist. That's how they can that's how they take advantage of you because they'll
Right,
gaslight you and say all the things that you want to hear, and if you believe them, you'll just keep going back and back for more, and basically you're just doing something for somebody for free. And
right.
also music labels, record labels, don't get me started because they what they are. They're just a group of individuals that are very intelligent. They've studied law and everything about the music industry, and all they do is they just take that knowledge and then they just take advantage of everybody that they sign, big artists or small artists. That's all a music record label is. It's just smart people that know how to make money in the music business and steal it from music artists.
Right. Yeah.
And sometimes it works out for the music artists, and usually it doesn't. And even if it does work out, the only thing that you can do from it, because you're only going to get 20% if you're lucky, and that's before you split it with the other people that you're playing with, then all you can do is just use the fame and notoriety that you get from hopefully the record label pushing you to success and beyond, to then, take advantage of that and do your own thing. But yeah, opportunity. Opportunity is a good subject for today.
Opportunity.
Somebody, yeah, we got guitars here. We got a jam, but somebody
Yeah.
asked me a question before we did this. And they said, I would like to know, both of you, what music artists inspired you, specifically in like high school times, like junior high and high school. What music artists were the ones that kind of inspired you to want to be playing today? Maybe you can go first, Mac.
Oh, sure, yeah. If I go first here, for specifically high school and junior high,
Yeah.
that was the period where I was starting to get into like Chevelle and Filter, Deftones. Yeah, yeah. There you go.
Yeah.
Callback. Yeah, I was starting to, because before then I was super into like pop punk, certain strains of pop punk. I liked Green Day and like Yellow Card and Sum 41. And I think that high school really was my bridge into like heavier music. I feel like heavy is a very subjective term. I feel like heavy means different, like Deftones' heaviest music for some people isn't heavy to them, and same thing with like Chevelle. But from what I was super into when I got into high school, it was like, I was getting into more screaming and, more down-tuned guitars, extended range guitars, 7-string guitars, 8-string guitars. Kind of discovering that side of heavier music. Seven Dust was another band that I was starting to get into in high school. And I think that foundation, because I listen to a ton of stuff now, but I think that foundation really was what was key to me being like, oh, because before then it was like I didn't like anything with screaming. I was like, I don't like screaming. Or I don't like palm muting sort of like breakdown stuff. But that music sort of opened the door to like, oh, screaming is actually kind of cool. I kind of like that, and I really like sort of noise rocky stuff that isn't necessarily super melodic, but it's got a rhythm and it has like a structure that you connect with. Even if it's not super melodic, like, Foo Fighters or Green Day or someone like that. Yeah, that's, for me, that was what I was starting to get into in high school. You take it away. That's my 2 cents.
That's cool. And when you talk about down tuning and stuff, I think around that era is when that stuff actually started becoming popular. So it's interesting because you getting into that was around the time that it basically started, which is a good period of time because now younger people, younger than you, are getting into that now, and that's been going on. That's developed and evolved. Now there's 8 strings, and it's evolved so much with the down tuning compared to the AC/DC tuning era.
Right. Yeah.
So
The funny thing about the drop tuning stuff is like when I was like probably, oh man, I was probably 13 or 14, like just getting into about to get into high school. I was in a music program, and I was in this music program where they split you up into bands and you just like write songs together and, like a music summer camp thing.
Nice.
And I was super into Green Day and like these different bands that only play in standard basically. And then the other guys were into like more metalcore stuff where they're playing in like drop D and drop C. And I didn't know what that was. And I was just like, and I'm the singer, like, no, like, I don't want to do that. And they kind of like I was kind of being cool, and like at some point I was just like, all right, like we can try to do this, like whatever. And I was kind of just like reluctant about it. But then probably like 2 years later, my my standard guitar tuning was like drop D, drop C, drop C sharp. Like it completely switched after that because I mean, like I feel like at the time I didn't want to admit that like this is actually like really cool and like this like opens the door to a different type of guitar playing. And then later I was kind of just like, all right, this is actually sick, and you can do a lot with this that you can't do in standard. So yeah, I really like alternate tunings and drop tunings, and it's fun.
Yeah, I also I grew up in really quick. I mean, Billy Joel, the Beatles, Frank Zappa, Steve Vai, Joe Satriani. That was what I was listening to, which primarily is normal tuning. But as you know from our last podcast, I'm actually tuned to the same thing that you're tuned to, and I only play primarily in dropped tuning from a person that grew up just playing in standard E standard, playing with Andy McCoy. He only plays in E standard. Like, you know, he's old school. Like, that's what they do.
Right.
And that's
Right.
cool. Like,
And
it's
that's
great
cool.
to do
That's
that.
totally cool.
But I love playing in drop tuning for so many reasons. But one of the major reasons, which is not what it seems, because you would think like, oh, what a poser. No. And I'm revealing something to you. This is kind of intimate, but the reason why I like playing drop is because when I write a song, if I can play it basically with one finger for most of it, you know, generally, I look at that in the future as when I'm playing a live show and I'm rocking my hair like a madman, going brain dead, like we talked about already. Like I'm brain dead from all this, right? I can still play the song and like spontaneously combust on stage and do everything I can, but still,
Right.
you know, I'm still in control. You know, I'm in control because I can make it still sound good and
Right.
and give my energy. So I do feel like writing music now. When I write music, it's generally because I'm thinking ahead of how am I going to play that live. You know?
I do appreciate that a lot. I think that's something that is important, and I've like a lot of a lot of the music that I've written in the past like couple of years. Since I haven't been in a band, I'm kind of just like I'm not really worried about it. Like I'm just gonna focus on like making a good song and something I think sounds good, and then if I get a band, like we'll figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that, you know, for me, it's like I'm just by myself. Like I'm not in a band. So if you're in a band and you're releasing songs together, I think that making stuff that, you know, trying to fit it into a format that translates live really well, I think is something that is overlooked by a lot of bands, because I think a lot of bands get into the studio and they go on their computer. Yes. And I'm not knocking computers. I do everything on my fucking computer. Like I'm just in my fucking bedroom. But I think that it makes it easy to not think about that, you know, because, you know, you see a lot of bands doing like backing tracks and, you know, that's fine. I'm not against backing tracks. Like they have their space, but I think there's something, I think there's something special about being able to come up with an entire arrangement of instruments and they can all be played live just as easily as in the studio, and you can translate that energy and that chemistry to a live setting.
Yeah.
So I'm glad you mentioned that. I think that's a really cool thing.
Well, it's like I said, I'm not trying to be a poser, and I'm not trying, like, don't get me wrong, my songs are not actually, I do, you know, the more that I've been writing, the easier I think the songs are, because when I look at Nirvana and I look at Kurt Cobain,
right,
and you listen to like his guitar riffs, like that inspired a whole generation of people playing guitar. It really did. And why is that? Why is that? Because the riffs are so easy to play, you know, like like that is like somebody can pick up a guitar and play that. So in a way, like writing in that format to me is becoming more prevalent the more that I write, because if you can write a simple song that sounds good with a really good melody,
Yeah.
well, like then you can write a few songs where they're like technically a little bit harder, and people will like those. But generally, a lot of people stick to the songs that are like, oh, I can pick up the guitar and play that song too. So like, I
Sure.
really like that song, you know?
Right.
And also stripping it down, like when I write a song, I want to be able to say like, can I have a three-piece, like a drummer, a bass player, and a guitar player, and maybe the bass player and the guitar player sing or whatever, so there's harmonies. Can I perform that as a three-piece? Because without backing tracks, like how can I do it
Right.
where it'll still sound good?
That's no, yeah, like that's honestly a really, and I think music just in general has evolved to the point where, I mean, even back then it was hard to make something in a three-piece band, for example, that sounds super full. And I think with the age of, what's so readily available at everyone's fingertips, like with
Yeah,
computers and plugins and all this stuff, like I think what it means to have something full with like a three-piece band means something different than what it meant like 30 years ago.
true that. Yeah, and I mean, we can get into that topic next time, because I don't want to keep you too long. I know you got to get back to your live streaming, but
Okay.
I'm really glad that we got to talk about opportunity today, because it was something that has been on my mind, and it's something that everybody thinks about, because we all have that opportunities come and go, and sometimes you can take advantage of them and sometimes you can't, and
Yeah.
I'm really happy to see that you're doing very well, and you're doing successful, because you took an opportunity to do the things that you're doing on YouTube. And it's not easy to say, it's one thing to say like, I have this idea, I want to do this, but then the other thing is to actually execute it and do it over and over and over. And maybe at first you didn't see the results that you wanted to, but you continue to do it. And for that, I give you so much credit and congratulations to that, because that's not easy to do.
Well, thanks. I appreciate that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, that means a lot. Kira just commented. She said, apparently your question was asked by her. She's always in my live streams and everything.
Okay.
So, yeah, she just commented. So, yeah, thank you, Kira. Thank you for that.
Yeah, thank you, Kira. I just saw you asked that question, so then I friended you on my Instagram, because like just like you, I get lots of people that are like scams. Like they're all of a
dude,
sudden I'm always
dude.
checking. I'm like, is this a real person? And I saw that she seemed like a real person, so I'm now your friend. So there you go.
Right. Well, I'm glad. I'm glad that we're crossing over here as far as followers go.
Yeah. Well, and
Yeah.
hopefully, Mac, we will be crossing over musically, but that's another subject and another topic for another live stream. And the other thing is, like I said, I want to continue to do our weekly live stream, and as soon as our YouTube channel gets to the subscriber count that we can do it on YouTube, we're in, because like I said, I got some good microphones, and we're gonna do it right. But this is cool, because this is like grassroots, like this is like the beginnings of a cool podcast.
The origins of the cast, the origins, yeah.
And we can have, actually, if anybody is interested in having us bring on a guest, like we've talked about this before, it's okay, it'll happen when it happens. But I would love for people in the chats, if you have any ideas or people that you would want us to talk to, let me know. DM Mac or DM me. We'll definitely we can pull some strings and get some people on. It's not a problem. I love talking to other music artists.
Maybe we could like open it to questions or something? I don't know.
Can we open it to questions? If anybody has questions in the chat.
Anyone got any questions? Anyone
end the live stream, please.
Oh no, there you go. Okay. Hello everyone. Hobo Johnson, what about him? What about Hobo Johnson? Hobo Johnson has become like a a piece of like Mac Glocky lore. It's so funny. Matt, please play a quick riff, dude. Do it. What is that? What is that?
It's a song I wrote called Nordic Sea.
Oh, nice. You almost, I don't know if you did it on purpose, but you low-key did like a classical guitar pinch harmonic.
I did.
I don't know if that was on purpose. By the way, where the fuck is your D string, bro? What's going on?
It's my A string, and you know, until I get my GoFundMe with my nylon string kit, I am A stringless. No, EAD, D string, my D string.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I was like, wait, hold on.
Yeah, I was talking to Murray, who played in CKY briefly and then was in Fuckface, and he was saying the same. He's like, Matty, where's your string? And I was like, well, you know, I'm just I'm trying to accumulate enough money from doing live streams to eventually pay for my string. And he's like, okay, well, that might be a while for you, Matty. So he's like, can I send you a care package? And I was like, no, I'll get there. So yeah, I'm going to keep this off until I can either get, you know, nylon strings or we'll see. But you know what though? Actually, the cool thing is now that it's gone, is I've been writing because it's not there, and I've been realizing because like you said, I love open tunings, by the way. Where open tuning, for anybody that wants to know, it's like when you play a chord, but you leave all the other strings open instead of muting them. And it only works in certain parts of the fretboard because, for example, that the song "I Want You Out of My Head," that acoustic guitar, that's open because I'm playing drop D, but the rest of the strings are open, so it's got that like weird, like 28 Days Later vibe, like creepy sound. Yeah,
it's like dissonant. Yeah,
dissonant. So playing without a string, even though it was by accident because I broke it, it leads to different opportunities to find like different like ideas. So
no, I'm laughing because I know what you mean. Because I've been in the same situation. I totally know what you mean. It makes you play differently. Like like if you get a new guitar or you know, you transition into like 7-string or something, like it just makes you play differently because you're just inspired differently from playing with a different instrument, you know. Yeah, I totally know what you mean. But and that was last stream we did I'm pretty sure that was missing last stream. And I almost said something.
Missing for a few months now.
Yeah.
it's
the last stream I was like, oh, like I don't know, whatever. I just kind of looked past it, and then now that I'm seeing it here on this one, I'm like, okay, what's going on?
Well, now everybody knows
this has been a thing for like a few months
behind the string that's missing, and that's why when you showed me this Chevelle song last week, I was so happy because I was like, hey, it's only requiring these two.
You don't
strings.
need the third. Yeah, you don't need the fucking what is that fourth string? You don't need that shit, dude. You don't need it. You're good.
But by the way, this guitar, it was when I lived in Oulu, Finland, which is like way north of here. It's kind of near the Arctic Circle. This was left in the rehearsal room that I had, and the people were just like, we don't want it anymore because it's like a student type of Yamaha-ish guitar,
right?
And it's like the best guitar I've ever owned. It sounds like when it has all the strings.
Isn't it crazy how that happens?
It's
like
so
the
crazy.
Cheapo fucking like super cheap dank bottom dollar guitars that you have are the ones that are like, I love writing on this guitar. I love just jamming on this guitar. It's so true. It's so true. Yeah. It's like your blankie, dude. It's your blankie as a
pretty
musician.
much. I always have this. It's everywhere with me, and it's you know, so it's so great. So, okay, anybody else have any questions before we wrap this one up?
Yeah, let's do some more questions. Let's do any more questions here. Oh, my light is dead. Perfect. That's the sign right there.
That's the sign.
That's the sign. That's the omen.
All right. Incubus, Under My Umbrella. Somebody's writing.
When I close my eyes. I don't know how to play it, but that's a great song.
Do you have any riffs that you've been playing lately? You could show me if you can maybe show me another riff before we go. That's hopefully
shit,
on
dude.
2 strings.
Shit, I could probably show you another riff.
Cool.
Do you know how to play My Own Summer, Deftones?
I don't know how to play any song, but I can learn it quickly. That's what I mean. I want you to teach me. No, I'm serious.
No, I know. We talked about this last time.
Yeah.
I don't know how to play any song, but I will listen and.
I want to see if I can learn it. If I
This
can
is
do it.
normally played in drop C sharp, but we'll play it in drop C.
Cool. It's kind of hard to hear, but I know this song.
Oh shit!
Something like that, like.
Yeah, I'm playing it. Wait, I'm playing it up here. I'm playing it up here. It's just on one string. It's just one string. Yeah.
What?
This is a lot more frets than the last one we did.
Something like that, right?
You got the rhythm. You're down on the rhythm.
Right, because I know the song. I've heard it.
So yeah, it goes 12. So the first thing you fret is 12 to 13. So.
It's not. No.
You go up. You go 12 to 13. Oh, you're so close. Yeah. Wait. You going? Do it again. Oh, yeah. You had it, yeah. So, okay, do the same thing. Do the same thing, but don't go down on those two. You're going like,
yeah.
You go up. So you go. Yeah, that's it. That's it. That was it. I think that was it.
Are you sure? Let me play it one more time so you can hear.
Okay,
it.
wait. Okay, so it's perfect. The only thing,
yeah,
you're going. I think you're going. Wait, I think you're going. You're going like this.
Yeah.
But you go instead of going like at the end. You go. What is it? 8-5 instead of 7-5. So. Yeah.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. You do that at the end.
No. Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, right there. Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Now I want to play it a bunch. Cool.
Yeah.
I like
there
that
it
riff.
is.
You know, and I was thinking about that song the other day because of you, and I know that you like them. And we were on tour with the Deftones, and actually the guitar player, I forget his name. What's his name?
Stephen Carpenter.
Yeah, Stefan. at the
Yeah.
time, this was in the early 2000s.
With who?
He had
With CKY?
yeah,
Okay.
he had this dog. He had this dog that he always brought with him everywhere. And I just remember him and his dog, and by the way, those guys are completely amazing, sweet people. They're like super nice.
Yeah, I was actually in a band with their. I mean, you probably met him, Chi Chang, their bassist.
Okay. Yeah.
His son was in my band for a while, and he was just super sweet, super chill, like basically like a younger version of his dad. And like, yeah, everyone who talks to them always says that they're so sweet and so like down to earth, super nice.
But really quick before we go, like when you first showed me that riff, it almost felt like this is never going to happen, right? But if anybody that wants, that's learning, like if of course, like everything's hard at first, but if you're determined to do it and you really really want to do it, a couple times you'll fail, but then eventually you'll figure it out, and that's why I love learning something new from you, because I love that riff. And
it's a great riff,
and
yeah. Great song.
Of course, I didn't pull it off right away, but I got it. I eventually I got it.
You did get it. You nailed it. You got it.
And now I'm really happy. And when we go, I'm gonna probably play that for a few times. And I say we end the stream on a good note. Maybe I'll try it one more time.
You fucking nailed it, bro. You absolutely nailed it. You killed it. There you go. Now, you got it now. Yeah. That's how you know you got it now.
And that is hard. That is a little bit harder than the Chevelle riff.
Yeah, there's a lot more frets involved. There's a lot more frets involved for sure.
But it also involves open, because you're playing with the open string.
Yeah.
And I really like that, because
that's like most Deftones riff. It's just like at max, it's like 2 strings. Like most of the time, it's 1 string.
I think it's this like whatever. There's like a Mike Campbell guitar player from Tom Petty has a song called "Running Down a Dream," and there's a lot of songs that have open strings, right? Come on, there's tons of them.
I do. Yeah, I mean, yeah. Listen to my fucking songs. Like they're all like, most of them are open shit like that, like 1 or 2 strings. That's just the kind of guitar playing that I that's what I do, and that's what I'm inspired by.
What is this one though?
The beautiful people, the beautiful people.
I like that. People have requested me to do that song in different styles.
You should. That's a cool one.
Yeah, that is a great song. That's a very good song. I love that song. Yeah, that's a good one. What are we?
And having you, or not having you, doing our show, and
yes,
yeah, super fun, and I'm looking forward to the next one.
Yeah, man, me too. Absolutely, a lot of fun. Great talking to you. Great chat. Thank you all for watching, for joining. If you're watching this later, thanks for watching. We both appreciate you all immensely. So thank you.
Yes. All right. Well, let's end it here. We will see you on the next one. Rock and roll. Bye-bye.
See ya.